Good afternoon, everyone. I'm waiting on the legend, James Lights Out Tony. Y'all be sure to channel in, pass the word, and jump on in as I'm going to sit down and interview boxing legend, James Lights Out Tony. How everybody doing? Be sure to tune in.
Yeah.
What's going on, champ? I'm going to do the introduction. Hey, good afternoon, everyone. World Combat Sports. Scotty White here. I have the opportunity and the pleasure to sit down with a boxing legend, future Hall of Famer, 5-division champ, King Time title holder, the one and only James Lights Out Tony. How you doing, champ?
Hey, what's going on, Scott? Thanks for having me. What's going on with you?
Oh. So first of all, I want to know how you've been. I know you retired last year. I want to know how everything's been for you and the family. You can let the boxing fans know what's been going on with James Lights Out Tony.
Well, James Tony's been doing a lot of things, a lot of business ventures. Me and my fiance were doing some things with cigars, and I have a couple TV shows coming out. I have a reality show coming out. So with me and my pops, we was constantly working on things, and plus, me and Mike Tyson's doing a TNT tour over here.
Hey, that's great news. I'm surprised they're not doing a full-blown, series on your life story in the ring.
Well, first we'll do a docudrama, and then that might lead to other bigger and better things. But it's coming, though. Trust me, it's coming.
Hey, we'll be looking forward to it, champ. Hey, I wanna jumpstart by talking about how you got into the sport of boxing. I know you was excelling in another sport prior to transitioning into boxing. Now, what made you make the decision to say, I want to be a full-time boxer and turn pro in '88 to what would be a Hall of Fame career?
Well, what happened, to be honest with you, it was the grades. You know what I'm saying? My grades I wasn't keep my grades in school, so I had to fall back on what I know, which is fighting, boxing. And thank God that worked out for me in a great way.
Hey, you looking back on the way you started your career, champ, you had a very limited amateur pedigree. You was 31-2. You didn't have an extensive amateur pedigree, all in the Olympics and everything. Then you came on the scene in '88, turned pro. All the way up to '91, you got your first major championship against a fighter who they sent you in there as the underdog. They sent you in there in his hometown. He was 36-0, a southpaw, and you went in there and knocked him out in the 11th round. I want you to take us back to the moment when the 10th round, when you had just hurt Michael 2-0 in the 10th round. His corner told him, just don't go out there and do anything crazy. You winning, you're smarter than he is. And then in your corner, they said, hey, you need the last rounds. Take us to that moment before you stepped out in the 11th round and knocked him out.
I'm gonna take you back further than that. I remember when I first heard about the fight. Reggie Johnson was the number one contender. He didn't want to go. He did not want to go to Davenport and fight Michael Nunn. He didn't want to go. Steve Carlin was number 2. He didn't want to go. So I'm like, I told Jackson, take the damn fight. Let's go. I told her, I said, if you do not take this fight, we're done. I said, I'm going to knock his ass out. I promise you. Easy win. And you know, Mike was doing all the talking and stuff like that. Just talking around his mouth. I said, okay, boy, I promise you, I'm knocking your ass out. At the weigh-in, you know, he took my chin, touched my head. I said, and I picked him up and I slammed him on the table and said, you touch him again, I'll kill you. And then, and see, they kind of messed me up a little bit because I ain't trained to go in to blow him out in the first round. I trained him to knock him out, but not early, right? And so when that did, maybe I lost control. I lost control of everything, man. I was trying to kill him. He was in the fight. He was tapping me up with a little quick jabs and all that. But then after the 6th round, Bill Miller slapped me and said, we ain't coming for this. Let's get it. I said, get back on our game plan. Just like we're in the body now. Slap him to the body. If you watch the fight, you'll see me. I'm hitting the body. I'm chaining him up. He never hit me, but I'm chaining him to the body. Boy, the 11th round came, I said, I got him. I told Bill, I got him. I said, the 11th round came, he didn't pay the electric bill, and his lights went out. Boom. I called the left hook, followed the right hand. Sleep time. Sleep is over. New champ. New dynasty.
Hey, you absolutely right, champ. The lights went out. You cracked him first with a left, and then when the ref split him, you cracked him with a right, and that closed the deal. I know the look he had on his face, man. It doesn't seem like he never believed that would happen, that you would knock him out. He had never been stopped before, never been defeated, and you went in there and knocked the man down in the 11th round.
I won his hometown. I told everybody the whole week, the whole time I was there. I told everybody from Davenport, I said, y'all come to a funeral. I'm gonna knock your boy out. I promise you. And look what happened. Sleepy time.
Hey, what I appreciate about the way you went about business, champ, was the fact that when you won your first major championship, this day and time in this era, they take a belt. They want to go on vacation. They want to climb the mountain and play instruments and go take yoga. You turned around in 7 weeks and went back and defended your middleweight title against Reggie Johnson.
No more contender. Actually, it was 6 weeks.
Wow. 6
weeks. I fought Reggie Johnson. Reggie was a hell of a fighter, good fighter, but he was tough. But I figured him out and I won the fight. You know, I suffered a knockdown. Basically, I slipped, but you know, they called it a knockdown. But it is what it is. But I got up. He started running. Usually, if you drop somebody, you gonna go after him. He ran from him. I put the bees on him. Like the Ghetto Boys said, put them 5th word bees on him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, all day. I had fun. And then I came back. I beat him. Yeah, I suffered a bad cut. So I had to postpone the fight. But I came back and fought in Italy 2 months later. And they smashed the dude. And then came back 6 more weeks later and fought Mike McCallum.
Yeah. And what boxing fans need to know, James Toney, since the inception of his career, he fast-tracked. When he picked up a title, the next couple of weeks, you're going to find him back in the ring fighting a top contender. Not any average person that was low on the rank. He was fighting top contenders. So when you picked up the middleweight strap, champ, and you went up there and defended like 5 or 6 times, you got to the point where you couldn't make 160. So now you're getting to the point of saying, okay, it's time for me to move up to super middleweight. You went up to super middleweight. I think you had a tune-up before you fought Iran Barkley.
Yeah, I fought Doug DeWitt.
Doug DeWitt. And you knocked Doug DeWitt in the 7th round, I believe.
6th round.
6th round. So you clean Doug DeWitt, and you go in against another guy that they call him a savage like you, and you went in there and punished him for 9 rounds. Take us to the moment when you sat up there and Iran Barkley couldn't even make it out in the 10th round. That was a phenomenal display of defensive skills, counterpunching. I don't know why people don't use that as a reference at this stage in boxing. Take us to that moment, champ.
Well, once again, I ran with another guy. They called the Blade, and he came in with the iron, with the blade, and everything. That was tough, and he was running his mouth. I said, okay, I'm gonna knock you out too. Everybody said, oh, he's too small. He's only middleweight, blah blah blah. But I said, I love when people talk like that because it only inspired me even more, give me more fire, add fire to the fuel. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, boom. I'm gonna knock you out. I promise you, I'm like, yo, you ain't nasty. And when Bell Rain came at me, yeah, I guess he thought he used to punk everybody. I guess he thought I was gonna run from him, but I ran to him. Watch the fight again. I ran to him.
Yep.
I'm taking your soul. I'm the soul taker. You feel me? I'm gonna take your soul. When I fight somebody, I own you. You mine.
And you have no dispute for me. I watched the fight several times, champ. And what was amazing to see is your innate ability not to have a visual on where the Iran Barkley's punches was coming from, but you was able to elude his punches. I mean, where did you pick up that defensive skill when you wasn't even looking at him throwing a punch, but he was trying to come over the top with the right hand?
Well, hey, I was every time he came at me, my goal was to stay busy. When he threw a punch, I throw a punch.
Yeah.
That's all we worked on, and I knew once I did that, it's gonna do him off. He's done, cause he was used to like firing back at him like that.
It was a superb bout. We're gonna get to some of these comments down here. Everybody's showing you love, champ. They said lights out. You know, boxing legend.
What up? My cousin.
Oh, okay, no doubt. Speaking of your super, go ahead, champ.
Her son boxing, up becoming champion.
Oh, yeah. What's up, Ronella Tony? Shout out to Ronella Tony. That's James Lights Out Tony cousin. Shout out to you. Hey champ, when you picked up the title, your second major title from defeating Iran Barkley, right? And once again, you defended it. And then you got to a point you say, I'm daring to be great. I'm gonna move up to light heavyweight. So at that point, you moved up to light heavyweight. You had a tune-up against Tony Thornton, I believe.
Yeah.
Right? So you had a tune-up against Tony Thornton. And at that time, before you went to light heavy, you was calling out Roy Jones. Now, the boxing community, the casuals, they always want to compare your only significant bout, the Roy Jones Jr., which they really don't know the true story on why it played out the way it did. And we're going to get down to the bottom of it. You was calling out Roy Jones at super middleweight. You went up to light heavyweight, had a tune-up, went back down to defend your belts at super middleweight. Then not only till you move back up, then, you know, it was a problem with you making weight, the 168. And all of a sudden, Roy Jones want to call you out. Kind of take us to that point where you was calling out Roy Jones and he didn't even want to answer the phone.
Well, for 2 years, everybody been talking about Roy Jones this, Roy Jones that. I'm like, okay, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'll fight him. I ain't got no problem. I don't duck. I don't turn down my collar to nobody. If he wanted, he can get it. But then I gave HBO and Bob Bear, my promoter at the time, I said August 24th is my birthday. I'm going on vacation. If you don't tell me that by then, ain't no fight. Ain't gonna happen. But then 6 weeks later, they called me. I'm on me and my boys. I think we in Barbados or Jamaica somewhere. Jackie called me. We got to fight. The fight to be made. And by then I was like, I ain't doing it. It's too late. I ain't playing. But then she said the magic word, $9 million.
Okay, the fans didn't know that. The fans didn't know that. Y'all heard it.
So I had to hurry up and do a crash diet. I fought Prince Charles Williams July 29th. 169 for that fight. We fought light heavyweight, catch weight. And by the time in September, I was easily 225 again.
Yeah.
And I had to crash diet and had to lose weight. stay in the sport box, and by the time the fight came around, I had nothing left. I told Bill, I said, Bill, after the first round, when Roy ran like a chicken, I said, I ain't got nothing, but he ain't gonna do shit to me. And he won the fight. I never said nothing, and he never offered to give me a rematch. He gave Tarver a rematch. He gave Bernardo a rematch, because you know why? He know I'm the superior. Even though I was in the great shape I should have been, he knew I had definitely skill and a whole bunch of power. And he didn't want to see this.
Absolutely.
This is something he didn't want. I'm telling you. And you see what I did to Tim Littles. Tim Littles is the same kind of fighter he is. But I destroyed him in 4 rounds. Easily. I made him cry. He had to catch the bus home after the fight.
You know, speaking of what you did to Tim Littles, you know, wasn't that a short turnaround also? Like, a lot of people don't know, Lights Out, when he prepared for the Roy Jones fight, he had to drop 47 pounds in 6 weeks, right?
Actually, it was 55.
Wow. He dropped that much weight in 6 weeks, and then still showed up to the fight against a #1 contender like Roy Jones Jr. And then Roy Jones, he still kept his distance the entire fight. And you know,
you saw it. You saw it. He didn't want to fight. He did not try to engage. He didn't do me like he did Tarver and Hopkins. He knew better. He knew I'm the real deal. I'm the only one. I'm the one and only James Lights Out Tony. And I will knock your motherfucking block off.
No doubt. No doubt. So the fans, you need to know, when James Toney had went up to light heavyweight and he rotated back down in weight to defend his titles, then he not only moved to light heavyweight, but he went to cruiserweight too. Then he went up to heavyweight.
1 title in every division.
Went up to every division and fought. Go ahead.
And look, and then I fought the only world super cruiserweight fight, and won that by knocking out Sal Montana. The super cruiserweight division is short, and it's now gone, but I won that world title too.
Tell us about the time you was filming the Joe Frazier movie, and in the process, the movie wasn't even over. Didn't you take a title fight in between the Joe Frazier movie for the IBO championship and went back there and defeated him, and then went back to film?
That was actually the IBA World Super Cruiserweight Championship. I took the fight in between the filming, did the filming, went to the gym, went to film. You know, everything the same process. But I got ready and did my thing, because I had to do what I had to do. You know what I'm saying? That's what happened. We did to be great.
Hey, absolutely. Hey, that's what I wanted to talk about, Daring to Be Great, champ, because you fought 20 times in a 3-year span, right? Then you have like 20 fights in 3 years or something like that?
I turned pro. I turned pro in October 26, 1988. By the time I fought Michael Williams, I had 26 fights.
Wow.
2 years later. I fought in 88, I fought twice. I fought October 26th and December 3rd. And then I fought 13 times in 89 and 14 times in 90.
Hey, why do you think, Lights Out, that's not happening this day and time? Why do they not want to be as active as you were, even when you jump started in the middleweight division? From the inception of your career, that's what you was doing. You was taking on all challenges. You was stepping into the ring every time you turn around. You got Fighter of the Year twice, I believe. Then you got pound for pound champ. Why aren't they trying to do that today?
They scared to death. They ain't built like me no more. They ain't built. My kind is gone. You know what I'm saying? I went to people's houses. While I was on vacation in the Virgin Islands, I went to Julian Jackson's house and personally knocked on his door and asked him, "Come on, let's do this. Let's fight." He didn't come out the house. Same thing. When I was in England vacation, me and my crew was like Nigel Ben's house. Knocked on the door. He didn't want to come out. He didn't want to. He called the police on me. He called the police on me. You know what I'm saying? But it's cool. But see, fighters they built like yesterday. The Robinsons, the Marcianos, all of these guys. I mean, they're different. Everybody's soft today. It's very soft. Soft. SOF capital T. Soft. Hey, and look, you also forget that when I was fighting, when I was a world champion, I would take non-title fights in between fights.
Correct.
Not against bums, against top rated fighters. Anthony Hendrick, Prince Charles Williams, and David Witt, name it. You name it. I fought them all in between my title defenses. I wanted to stay busy. I want everybody to know that I'm the best fighter in the world, period. And then I wouldn't just fight on HBO. I would fight on ESPN. I would fight on ABC. I would fight on CBS. Hey, that was your life. I had fun because all I want to do is knock motherfuckers' heads off. I still do. I can't help it. It's in my blood. I'm a Tony, baby. That's what we do.
Hey, no doubt, lights out. I hear you. I don't have no dispute to that. I got to change lanes a little bit. I want to let the boxing fans know how much dog you had in you. One of the first boxers to step over to an MMA arena. No doubts about it. You went in there and took on a UFC light heavyweight champion. You took on Randy Couture outside of your sport while you were still an active fighter. Tell us about that, because fighters want to train to be dogs. How many fighters would step out of a boxing ring, step into the cage, and fight one of the light heavyweight champions in UFC?
Yo, let me tell you something. Randy Couture, he may be a great fighter in MMA, but he's a fucking coward because he knew we had agreed to. We agreed to first do a boxing match, an MMA match, and then come back a month later and do a boxing match. After he beats me, he was fucking retired. The fucking coward got up out of there. You know what I'm saying? Boss Chick. Yeah, my other cousin.
Okay. Shout out to Nikki Boss Chick, Tony. What's good? Thank you for dropping in. I appreciate it. Hey, salute to you, champ. I just wanted, it was one of those deals where you was the first to cross over, man. You know what? It wasn't like Ray Mercer. Ray Mercer was already out of boxing. He went to train MMA, and then he fought Tim Sylvia and knocked him out. But you was a still active fighter and on the game, though. You was on the top of the sport.
But you look like this. I'm a warrior. I'm an old school dude. If you want to fight, we can do this. Ain't no problem. Hey, tell your mama to bring the pillow. Period. We gonna fight. I fought him in this game. I didn't win. But you know what? He didn't do it. He didn't destroy me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if we would have fought a month later like we supposed to, I would have fucked him up real bad. You know what I'm saying? And that's why he want to box. I'm telling you right now. Look, I'm telling you right now. An MMA guy ain't got no business in the ring with James Tony. I don't care for how big you is. I've been boxing heavyweight since I was 14 years old and destroying them. This is what I love to do. This is what I do for a living. Milton Lubick, you don't want to see me. You and your boy Iran Bogler. I'm not even gonna talk about that. He done. And you see him. What's up, my boy DeAndre? That's my bodyguard. He looks up for him. What's up, D?
Who is he?
My bodyguard.
Dicart? Oliver?
No, DeAndre Adams.
Okay, what's
DeAndre.
up? Thanks for dropping in. Appreciate it.
My stepson, Reggie Johnson. What's up, Reg? And my stepson, what's up, boy? Well, my son, Reggie, what's up? You know it. Love you, boy. D Block for life. West side. You feel me?
No doubt. Hey, I wanna talk about.
Hi, Debbie. Whatever. Milton. You see him, Scott? Love you, Tony. No, man, you tricking, dog. You Iran's guy. You stay with your boy Iran. That's why I don't fuck with you, man.
Who is that?
Milton Lubin.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you know who he is? Hey, Milton, I'm going to kick your ass when I see you. I promise you. I'm going to kick your ass all over the street. I'm playing with you, dog. You my man. Ever Milton. I'm playing. Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna let you roll how you roll, champ. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of fans out here dropping in on you.
DMC, what's up, boy? Old fat rat.
Hey, let's I wanted to touch bases there, champ, on if we was to go from then to now, and you had any division that you could fight in, and any opponent that you would fight when you was in so-called your prime status, who would you select out this era right now to get in the ring with?
All of them.
In the division.
All of them. They all get it.
Yeah, all of them get it.
You forgot I fought in 7 divisions. So anybody from 154 to heavyweight, they can get it. I ain't got a problem with it. Hey, fight everybody. Look, I commend Deontay Wilder because Deontay, at first I was a little skeptical, kind of woozy about him, but now he showed that he wants to fight. He's the one challenging, what's his name? The soft dude from overseas, AJ. He's trying. He's doing what I did when I was trying to fight Ben and Eubanks and all other clowns over Europe. Europe, England have a severe bad case of bitch assness. And
I heard that, right?
and you know my man Wilder, he's doing his thing. He's trying to run through everybody, and I appreciate that. I'm an old school fighter, and I appreciate the shit he's doing. Because that's what I would have done. That's what, matter of fact, that's what I did do.
You did.
I've done it. It's been the track's been laid. Everybody, if you want to see what James Harden did, go on Facebook, go on Google, and go back to 1990. You see me at Nigel Ben's house, at June Jackson's house. You know, I'm telling you, I've done it. I'm that motherfucker. I'm that guy.
They're not built like that. They're not cuffing that cloth today, Tony. They're not fast tracking their career. They wanna. If you trash talk today, they want to put a restraining order on you. They don't want you to come in the ring. You know what I'm saying? They need you back in the middleweight division, cruiserweight, light heavy, heavyweight. They need you back in here, man.
Hey, Dayton Henry, I feel you. I Dayton Henry, I love the Holyfield fight too because you know why? He talked some shit and I kicked his ass.
Yeah, Holyfield. I got to that bout, man. Take us to that Holyfield fight, because once again, they thought James Toney's gonna come in there and lose that fight with Holyfield.
I love it. It was a great situation because number one, Holyfield was disrespecting me. I had all the respect for Holyfield. I was a big fan of Holyfield. I was a huge fan of Holyfield. But then when he got up on that podium and said, "Well, James is a good tuna fight," I said, "What? Tuna?" I told my pop before the press conference, I was not going to explode, do nothing crazy. But when he said that all bets were off. I'm kicking your ass. I'm knocking you out. And when I get done knocking you out, I promise you. When I knock your ass out, I promise you this. I'm going to take my trunks off and my pussy acquired in the first row.
And you was 2-0 that night, champ, because you defeated Holyfield and you defeated Hall of Fame Jim Gray. You was 2-0 in the same night.
Yeah, Holyfield, Gray, Jim Gray, he is with his guy. He's trying to do some bullshit, man, at the Hall of Fame again like a couple weeks ago, bro. I let him get away with it because it was his day. I didn't want to fuck his day up. But the guy has no class. The guy, he on, like I said, if you ain't never did boxing, you ain't got no business talking about it.
Yeah.
If you ain't never been in the ring into a punch or got knocked out or knocked somebody out, you don't deserve to be in the game, period, talking about it. But it is what it is.
Hey, champ, I wanna ask you this. Before we close it down,
Hold on, man. Bobby Parker, I'm knocking your ass out when I see you. You sitting on still ass cigars.
Let me see what the fans are saying there, Tony. Maria Holloway said, "What about Ricky Womack?"
Who? Ricky Roman, God bless his soul, you know he's dead. Sorry about that. I'm not gonna talk about that.
18-time champ, 5-time heavyweight champ, no doubt. Salute. Brandon Walker, I hate how they did you after the Ruiz win. You know, the Ruiz win, everybody don't know, they didn't give him the win because of whatever happened after the process, and they end up awarding Ruiz with a no contest or whatever, and they put the belt back on him.
Yeah, because I was still on the medical from the fight before that against Ryder Booker. I had tore my bicep and my tricep, and the fight was gonna go away if I didn't take it. I told my people to take the fight. We'll be all right. I train. I'll do what I gotta do. Unfortunately, I was still taking my meds, and it was still in my system. I wasn't trying to cheat nobody. Look, really, if you looked at my body that night, that night, if I was on steroids, are you crazy? I was gonna fuck up shit then. But I still went and beat him. I still went in and beat him with one arm, hands down, period.
Yeah, a lot of people don't look at it that way, champ. It absolutely went down that way. Your fans, Brandon Lashley said, do you have a fight in the near future?
I am retired. I am both.
2017, Brandon.
I'm retired. James Tony Promotions. We're coming up strong. I've already done 8 shows. We're about to explode into next year over Europe. We're worldwide promoting worldwide, and like I said, we have a lot of things in going on. Me and my fiance, we have a cigar line coming out, and I have TV shows. We have drinks. Man, everything's coming. You gonna see it's about to pop off real strong.
Hey, champ, you good for TV. The only thing I can do, hey, salute for having me on. You good for TV, man. I wish you nothing but success.
Hey, man, you what do, Scotty Pippen? What's happening with you?
I wish I was Scottie Pippen. I wish I had the bag. I wish I had the bag.
Hey, you hang with me? We gonna get the bag. A bunch of it. Middle Lubin, I'm kicking your ass. Iran, you Iran right now? Iran, this ain't what you want, boy. You too old. Ain't you about 75 years old now? You can't get it, though. You can't get it.
Milton Lubin saying, yes, but I ran for charity.
Bring the money. Bring the money. Milton Lubin, if you bring me 7 figures, I will fight Iran again. And this time, I will knock him out in the first round. Promise you that.
That'll do good numbers, champ. If you and Iran stepped in the ring.
No, don't try it, man. You know, Scott. You know damn well you wouldn't pay to see that motherfucker fight.
I said
you pay to see me fight, but you don't pay to see me fight Iran. But come over. I need a challenge. I'm too old to be there with these young guys. Well, I step back. I would love to fight the young guys. It's easier because they'll know what I know. You feel me?
Yeah. If you had a fighter to step back in there with, we talked about it. I know you said Roy Jones Jr. Would that be a person you would want to step in the ring with one last time to settle this long-standing, doubt that people have about that night you stepped in there, without them knowing the entire story about your weight cut, the way you was feeling, how dehydrated you was, being on the IV the entire night? Let me see. He went out for. What's up, James Tony's friend? Hey, I see you, champ. Hey, all y'all, thanks for dropping through. I appreciate y'all jumping on the live. Let me see, can I get him back on right quick? Thank you all for the support. I appreciate it. World Combat Sports. Hey, make sure you tune in. I'm going to try to get some more interviews as it go along. Let me try to get James Tony back on here. I don't know what happened. He dropped out. What's up? What's up? Hey, I'm back. Hey, somehow, some way, the live dropped out. But thank you all for tuning in. I had the pleasure of speaking to the boxing legend, James Lights Out Tony. If you don't know, he was 18 time champ, 5 divisions. I mean, the man did it all. He had a fast track like you wouldn't believe. It's just not duplicated at this day and era. You know what I'm saying? The man did it all. From the time he kicked down and opened the curtains and staged a phenomenal Hall of Fame career in 1988 to his first title shot in 91. Then he went on from there, fast tracking, title defenses, then stepping up and contending against top challengers. I'm talking about fighting through adversity. He did it all. He did the damn thing. He's good for boxing then, and he would have been absolutely phenomenal with boxing today. If we had social media back there when James Toney was lit and turned up, it would be a whole different melody. You wouldn't have fighters up here talking about, well, I want to get a restraining order. You ain't coming in the ring. You ain't doing this. No. When you talk about one of the king of trash talkers, it was James Toney. And you got to give him respect. The man is a legend. He's a future Hall of Famer. The man had over 90-something fights. You got to give it up to him. 77 victories, 10 defeats, 47 knockouts. Come on. And he fought a couple dozen times in a 3-year span. How do we see that this day and time? To answer that, you don't. You don't see that type of activity from a fighter that's facing world-class top contenders. It just wasn't his fight with Roy Jones that defined him as a fighter. For those of you casuals that believe that one single fight was all it was, you need to do more research. The man fought who's who. He would win a title, then turn around and fight somebody in less than a month. But you have fighters up here saying, I need 8-week training camp. I need 9 weeks. I need 10 weeks. This man used to jump in there and he just got it done. Unbelievable. You know, I appreciate the opportunity to sit down with a legend like James Toney. Absolutely. No doubt about it. You know, he gave me the opportunity. I'm up here, World Combat Sports, by myself, handling business, man. And I'm truly thankful for being able to sit down with a cool cat like James Toney. It would be amazing to have him on the set right now in his prime, contending with middleweights, super middleweights, cruiserweights, light heavies, even heavyweight. Can you imagine that James Toney went in there and stepped, and with the Michael Second and None, the Iran Barkleys, the Tim Littles, the Reggie Johnson. Can you imagine him going up against these fighters, Canelo, Triple G? You want to talk about promo? It don't even come close. No one trash talked the best and went in there and handled business like James Lights Out Tony. No doubt about it. Hey, Justin, you want to jump on, big dog? Hey, Justin, you want to jump on? I'm going to see can my man Justin come on here. He from Soft Straight Talk. He cover sports too. That's one of my compeers, man, who do this media also. Give a shout out to Absolutely Boxing. Hey, they doing big things over there. Appreciate it. Let me see if Justin also can come on here from Soft Straight Talk and we can chat it up for a minute. Thank you all for tuning in. Be sure to drop by World Combat Sports on all social media outlets. Be sure to join the group. It would be much appreciated. And then thank you for the teamwork. One team, one fight. Let's do it. Let's keep it moving. You know what it is. I'm going to try to get on here more often and do the lives. You know, interact with the members and talk this combat sports. I cover boxing and MMA. You know. But today was a day. You know what I'm saying? Today was a day. I actually sat down with the man himself that didn't even really have to reach out, man. He sat down with me and chatted it up only the way James Toney can do it. Man, y'all go up there and follow what's going on with the future Hall of Fame boxing legend and James Lights Out Tony, man. You know, the fighters ain't cut that way. You know, you got like the Charlo brothers. They talk all the time, and people complain about it. James Toney was talking way back when. Muhammad Ali was talking trash back then. You know, all those fighters was trash talking. Why is it such a problem today? But the king of trash talking was Lights Out, man. Milton, hey, thanks for dropping in, man. Yeah, Iran did the same thing, but not on the level of James Toney. Iran was legit, man. I'm not sitting up here discounting anything that you're saying. Iran was the absolute truth. The parallels between him and Tony is that, him and Michael Nunn. Michael Nunn fought Iran Barkley first. He defeated him. And then, James Toney ended up contending against him as super middleweight for the title. So, yeah, you're right. No dispute here, bruh. Yeah, World Combat Sports is on Facebook, man. World Combat Sports. It has a blue logo, dark blue background, World in white, and Combat Sports in red. I'm on Instagram and Twitter and all that. Nice to have you through, Milton. No doubt about it, bro. Thanks for dropping in. I know you was dropping in to see your partner. No problem. That's cool. That's all good. Okay, jump on then. Let's go. Well, I'm not sure if you can send the invite, man. Let me see. Cause we're not friends right now, man. Yeah, I'm not sure how I can add you on there, Lubin, because we're not Facebook friends, and you're not in the group yet. Let me see. Hey, Lubin, send a friend request, man, to Scotty White. Send a friend request right quick. It has the same World Combat Sports logo, Scotty White. No middle initial, man. Just SCOTTIE. Yeah, man, jump on, man. Talk this boxing, man. I want to hear what you got to say, no doubt. You sent the request yet, there, Lubin? Yeah, it'll be good to have you on, man. Why's hot? Hey, let me do this there, Lubin. I'm gonna go off. Send me a request. I'll send you a request, whatever, and then we'll jump right back on. Cool? Let me see something right quick. Let me see if I see you. Okay, I just confirmed you. So let me see, can I add you on? There you go. I added you. Jump on in.
Dean, you gotta be quiet.
What is up? How you feel, man?
Hey, what's up, buddy? How are you? Thank you for making me a friend.
Yeah, no doubts. Hey, thanks for the request.
Hey, you know what? When I saw James Toney, I had to put my 2 cents in because I love to bother him because he's my man. He's the best. I love when he was boxing, how he would hype the fights up.
Absolutely.
and he would back himself up, you know, in the ring. I mean, I told him, I said, listen, you beat my favorite guy, which was Evander Holyfield. Evander Holyfield was always my favorite fighter. So when I met James in person, I said to him, listen, you beat him. And he was like, I didn't beat him. You know how he talks.
Yeah.
I busted his ass. So we were in Atlantic City, not Atlantic City. We were in the International Hall of Fame, the Boxing Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
And my best friend is Iran Barkley. So Iran Barkley and I were in the back eating. And James Toney and Iran weren't looking at each other, talking to each other. So Barkley was sitting there, and I'm talking to James Toney. And I said, listen, if you start with me, because you heard him, he was like, I'm going to bust your ass up and down the block. I said, if you start with me, look who's sitting right there. He goes, go get him. Go get him. I'm going to knock him out. Go get him. So I said, you don't want that, because I like to bother Tony.
Yeah.
And then me and Tony, we became friends. And I'm good friends with Mark Breland. I actually speak to Mark all the time. I go to the Boxing Hall of Fame in Atlantic City. This is the second year they had it. So Ray McCline, who's the president, he actually, I'm Icons of Boxing. I don't know if you ever heard of that. It's like, I sell memorabilia, but since these guys are my friends, I set them up for shows. You know, like signings and shows.
Yeah.
So that's my second year. I've been doing the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame. So all these guys were at my booth. I had Riddick Bowe, Michael Spinks, John Scully, who to me is like #1 humanitarian in boxing. We had Mark Breland, Iran Barkley. Those two guys are my best friend. We had Poison Junior Jones.
Jones. Okay.
Yeah, that's my boy. He don't live too far from me either.
All right.
So, I'm in New York. Where are you from?
I'm in the ATL. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm right next door to Mark Breland. You know, I saw them before they went to the Olympics there, Milton.
Oh, you're Atlanta, which is Evander, right?
Yeah, Vander Holyfield, Tyrell Biggs, Medrick Taylor, Sweet Pea Whitaker. I saw them all before they went to the Olympics. I was a kid.
Yeah, I go out to, we're the same age, right? We're 30.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's funny because Mark Breland told me, I can't give too many stories up because I don't want him to be watching this, get mad at me, but his best friend in the Olympics was Tyrell Biggs, and remember Greg Page?
Yeah.
The 84 Olympics. So,
heavyweight.
Mark Breland, on September, can I plug something?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Okay, we have a fundraiser. It's called Ring 10. It's September 23rd. It's a fundraiser, and what they do, Ring 10 raises money for fighters, ex-fighters, that are, you know, a little down and out on their luck with medical bills and so on and so forth.
True.
So they help them out. So we're going to have a big fundraiser, and Mark Breland is winning an award that night as the trainer of the year. Because how do you not give him an award? He's got the heavyweight champion of the world. So he's winning trainer of the year. So he doesn't know this, I know. I mean, I want him to watch, but I hope he's not watching. We're going to surprise him with Tyrell Biggs and Greg Page.
Oh, wow.
He's going to come visit him.
The
So
words,
that should be really cool.
Yeah, the words don't speak.
And that's going to be in the Bronx. We have Roberto Duran is coming. Vinny Pazienza is coming. The list goes on and on, man. It's going to be a great show. September 23rd. I'm just plugging this. I hope you don't mind.
Hey, let me when we done with the live, give you my number so we can chat it up a little bit about some things that's popping off or whatever. I appreciate it, man.
Yo, dude, I would love to, like, you know, collaborate, help you out, whatever it takes, because
I do media and boxing articles and stuff like that. You know, World Combat Sports, and it's just, you know, that's what I do. I've interviewed some fighters periodically. Hey, you know, mentioning Mark Breland, I've sent several requests to try to get an interview with Deontay Wilder, but he hot right now. Deontay Wilder is just hot right now, man.
Yep. And you know what's funny? You got it. Are you friends with JD's?
I did an interview with JD's not too long ago.
And he didn't get you the interview with Deontay?
I'll tell you about that once I'm off live, though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I got you.
I did an interview with JD's, the trainer of Deontay Wilder. Absolutely.
Right.
Good guy. Good guy.
I think I can help you a little bit. You know what I mean?
I would appreciate it. I appreciate it.
You know, like say, hey, you know, you got to get on. It's funny because there's this guy, he does MMA. I forgot his name, but he was like, do me a favor. We do a podcast and we want to get Iran Barkley. We got everybody from Ring 10, but Iran Barkley. So I'm sitting in the car. I got Iran next to me, and we turn it on, and we're talking, and everything went wrong. They had every technical difficulty you could think of.
You
And
talking about Brandon Shaw below the belt? Brandon Shaw?
No, he's got a mustache. He's thin. He does photography for all the UFC fights.
Okay.
The name is not here, you know, but I have a lot of connections, like as far as the guys themselves, you know. So I could help you out a lot, you know.
I'll definitely shoot you my contact. I appreciate you dropping in, Milton. You know, I didn't know what was going on between you and Tony, so I was like, hey, my hands, I'm out of this. But y'all have a rapport, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, that's really because we're friends, but because I hang out with Iran all the time, I always tell him, why don't you give that heavyweight, because he's got the belt. He's got the heavyweight title. I think that's the last belt he got. I said, why don't you give Iran a shot at your belt? And he laughs at me. He goes, who's going to promote it? I said, we'll get Roy Jones or we'll get Evander. He goes, they'll laugh at you. And I said, why do you think they'll laugh at me? He says to me, because Iran has no chance against me. And I said, let me tell you something that Iran does. Iran goes to the gym religiously. Iran thinks, or shall I say hopes, wishes, that he'll get that phone call, that he'll get that one more fight. Because a fighter never wants to believe that they're done or they're retired. Mm-hmm. So Iran trains, and I'm telling you, dude, we went to L.A. We went to the Boxing Expo, which is coming up in Vegas. We went last year, and it was 115 degrees for like 3-4 days straight. It was a heat wave, and I don't do good in the heat. I was outside, running in the heat, pouring. I said, what are you doing? He goes, this is how I lose weight. I like to run in the heat. Then I said, yeah, I challenge you. So we go into the gym in the Caesars Hotel, Caesars Palace Hotel. So he gets on the Stairmaster, the bicycle, and he's going at it. And I'm really not promoting Iran. I'm telling you the truth. This is real talk.
No, speak on it. Hey,
yep, dude, he's pouring. So I said to him, what are you doing? You're not training for the Olympics. He goes, you never know when I'll get that phone call. So he thinks he still has it in him, you know. And it's funny because I just saw an article. They interviewed him. He was at Larry Holmes's golf outing. And the article, the headline, I was laughing so hard. I ran into it in Facebook. It said, Iran Barkley at 58 is having a comeback. So they interviewed him, and he says that he's waiting for somebody because he wants to make the big money that the big guys are making now. And he still thinks he has it, you know? I seen him in the gym. I seen him hit the bag, the speed bag. They don't lose the strength, but I think they lose the timing and the speed.
Yeah.
But I think like, you know, I hope he's not watching, but I think he can handle himself against a few guys. But I don't ever say get in the ring to fight because God forbid they ever get hurt. But why don't they just put on the sparring gear and do it for charity? You know, 1 or 2 rounds, you know, just pulling punches and just do it for charity. So I'm hoping that there's somebody out there that says, let's do this, Iran.
That's an awesome story. I'm glad you was able to, you know, spread that on the social media platform with all these boxing fanatics out here. There, Milton. The stories, man. I know you probably have a lifetime of them. You know what I'm saying? You have any other ones dealing with any fighters that's, you know, retired at the moment that's well known that the fans can relate to?
Oh man. Oh, you want to hear a story?
Go ahead, man.
Current fighters? Let me see. See, I got to be careful when I tell my stories. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, I could tell you about Mark Breland's son. Mark Breland has a son who's 15 years old, and I could warn everybody out there and say, if this guy wants to pursue boxing,
Yeah.
he could go 6 rounds with guys that are older than him. He's 15. He could handle himself 6 rounds with big dudes, and it's unbelievable. So Mark Breland's got I don't know if it's history, and it's in the blood, sort of like Iran Barkley has his nephew, which is Shaquan Barkley, the Giants running back. But I'll tell you, Mark Breland trains his son, and I train my son, and I'm always telling Breland, my son's 14 years old. He's been boxing since he was 4 years old. He also takes MMA, the mixed martial arts, because you got to learn a little bit of everything if, God forbid, something happens in the street.
Yeah.
Because it's not in the ring, it's everything comes down to wrestling. But I always say to Mark, something, Mark, I'm going to give your son a couple of more years to train before you get in the ring with my son. And boy, does that burn him up, because because my son's he's 14, so that's 10 years, and he's good. He's very good, but I don't put it out there. But I always say to the fighters I hang out with, I said, my son has a right hand just like Tommy Hearns, because he really does. And he's in the other room right now. I wish I could he's playing Fortnite, he's addicted to PlayStation. So I wish he'd come over here and I hold my hand up and you see him just throw punches, but I know he won't do it knowing that, we're on Facebook Live. But
hey, Milton, you mentioned Tommy Hearns, your good friend Iran Barkley, he defeated the Hitman. You know what I'm saying? So have you ever been in the same room with them, being that Iran Barkley defeated Tommy the Hitman Hearns?
Yes, I'm going to tell you a funny story, because I'm into memorabilia. My business it's called iconsofboxing.com. It's memorabilia. I started with boxing memorabilia. I went to baseball, basketball, but I stuck with boxing because I know the boxers. So I'm going to tell you a funny story. We went to a show, and Hitman Hearns was doing the show. So I said to Iran, let's go say hello to him. He goes, okay, he's my boy. I have nothing against him. We're friends. Same goes for Roberto Duran. They're like family. They love each other. So we go there, and we go downstairs because I know the promoter, and Tommy's signing all these gloves, and Iran standing there. Tommy has no clue that he's standing over him. He's just signing on a table. And this was Tommy. He's signing, and he goes like this. And he looks right at Iran Barkley, and Iran Barkley's looking down at him, and Tommy goes, of all the people in the world, you're the last person I'd ever think that I would see here. And he said, what are you doing here? He goes, I'm here to show you support. And I'll tell you another one. Mike Tyson is signing in Long Island. I won't mention the store or anything. So I like to go see Mike Tyson. I wanted to get some stuff signed.
Yeah.
So Iran goes, oh, I know Mike Tyson. I go, you do? He goes, I know all these guys. And I forgot. These guys from the 80s and 90s, when they were champions, they all knew each other. So we go to see Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson sees Iran Barkley, grabs him, hugs him, takes a chair, puts it down, says, you're going to sit with me. And he's hanging out with him. And as Mike Tyson's signing and taking photos, he's taking breaks and reminiscing with Iran Barkley, like, going out and being in their prime and going to clubs and going to restaurants and lounges. And it was so cool to just see Mike Tyson take a break from work and have somebody there that was, with him when they were boxers. So they were reminiscing. It was such a good feeling for me just to say, wow, what happens behind the scenes, I was part of, you know, and it was just really cool because we stood there the whole day. And when everybody left, Mike Tyson was like, you all right? Everything all right? And like, he was making sure everything was good with Barkley, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
Because Barkley, he's on some hard times. So he said to him, I really appreciate that you came here, to sit down and hang out with me. And I saw a side of Mike Tyson I never knew, because everybody sees Mike Tyson as the so-called, what he was back in the day, being the tough guy.
Yeah.
Now he's, I seen the side of him several times that he's just such a down-to-earth, sweetheart individual that cares about other human beings that people don't know about because they don't see him in that aspect.
Yeah.
But it's kind of cool because I see a lot of, hey, dude, Ray Mercer, Riddick Bowe, Michael Spinks, these are all like gold medalists, like heavyweight champions. And I'm hanging out with them and I'm hearing them talk and I'm just sitting there and I'm like, yo, I'm really privileged. All I do, I'm not going to put it down, but I sell boxing memorabilia. But the fact that I hang out with these guys and I owe it all to Iran Barkley. And I'm going to tell you something. Iran is like a brother to me. And I'm where I am now because of Iran, because when I go with Iran anywhere, it's like VIP. And I don't do it purposely to get the VIP. I just call up Iran and I sit there because I know he wants that feeling of being amongst his peers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When boxing's over and they don't have anything to fall back on, they still want to reminisce or they become nostalgic. So when I say to them, I say to Iran, listen, Tommy's here, James Tony's here, let's go here. He's like, I'm down. I pick him up. I drive this big crazy Hummer that says Icons of Boxing, has all boxing guys on the side. I pick him up. We go to the show. It's so cool. And you know something? Once they see Iran, it's like VIP. We go right in the back, and I'm like, I never been treated this way. But to him, it's normal. I mean, I seen guys on the Yankees. I seen quarterbacks. I seen guys I've never been able. Guys wish to see, but I see them because I'm with Iran Barkley. But I don't do it because of that. I do it because Iran's a friend of mine, and I want to hang out with him. And I like to take him to places where there's boxers, because then it gives them exposure, and it also, like I said, a sense of purpose. Because, like in Ring 10, there's a lot of boxers that come to Ring 10, and you see life after boxing. They kind of like kick to the curb a little, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
If they don't have, if nothing to fall back on, nobody really cares about them. So I think that if I could care for one guy, which is Iran Barkley, if I can make a difference in one person's life, then I feel like I'm doing a good job. And being a friend to Iran has its benefits, but I don't do it for that. I do it because Iran is a really good guy and a good human being. And somebody once said to me the other day, they said, Iran should be a judge. I said, a boxing judge? I said, that's brilliant. They said, because Iran Barkley tells it exactly like it is. Do you know how cool it is when my friends get together? They say, is Iran coming over? I said, yeah, why? They go, let's watch the fight. And we watch the fight. And when you're hanging out and you're watching a fight, there's no better than watching a fight with an ex-fighter.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
And, dude, it's like from 4 or 5 guys having a few beers to like 12 or 15 guys. And I'm like, where did all these guys come from? It's because Iran's coming. I was like, really? And they're all asking him questions. And it's hysterical. But I want to tell you one more story. Then I have to go. You're going to like this one. We went to see the Roberto Duran movie, right?
Yeah.
Iran's falling asleep, and we're throwing popcorn at him, right? We went at an hour where we knew it wouldn't be too many people there, and we're throwing popcorn at him because we really had him out the whole day. We exhausted him. So we're waking him up, and we're like, he's like, am I on yet? Am I on yet? I said, are you on what? He goes, I'm not in the movie. I said, what do you mean? He goes, I fought Duran. And I said, that's true. Maybe you are in the movie. I don't know. So he goes, okay, just let me know. So I said, what are you doing? He goes, I'm going to take a nap. And I go, why are you taking a nap? This is a great movie. Let's watch it. He goes, I lived that life, so I don't need to watch a movie. You know what I mean? Of the Duran. And I was like, his perspective was interesting because after it was all done, I said to him, so how'd you like the movie? He goes, what I saw I really liked, but I wasn't in it. And I said, so? it didn't get to that point. It was about Duran. He goes, yeah, but they could have called me up, and and I'm like, what are you talking about, dude?
Yeah,
But it
yeah.
was so funny because when we watch boxing matches and we're going nuts, I see he's not really as interested as we are. And I go, Iran, do you not find it interesting? And he says to me,
What fight were you watching? What fight did you watch?
we saw, I think it was the Triple G fight.
Oh, I thought you was watching one of Iran Barkley's old bouts or whatever. Yeah.
Oh no, he won't watch that. When he does a signing in my friend's shop. It's called Royal Sports. It's on Metropolitan Avenue, a little plug there. He puts up Iran's fight. And I go, Iran, look at this part. And we're all watching it because Iran is there and he's on the screen. And it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Some people get starstruck.
Yeah.
I still do because I'm like, yo, that's my boy right there fighting. And they're playing the fight. And I go, aren't you going to watch this? He goes, for what? And I go, well, you fought the fight, but you never saw yourself, from the outside. He's like, and he was like, but if they call me, I'll fight another one. And I'm like, huh? Like, it's just weird.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? His perception is weird because he doesn't, it's not a big thing to him. You know what I mean? When he watches himself. And he actually, when we watch boxing, he says to me, if I'm not in that ring, I'm not that interested. And I go, why is that? He goes, because I want to be in that ring. His satisfaction is fighting or training and thinking that, something's coming. Not, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Rather than actually being the outsider like we are and watching two fighters fight. He goes, that's not me. I want to be the one in the ring. So it's like James Toney. It's like, it's in them. Their blood. They're fighters, and it's like, how did they retire and go on with something else? I bet you if somebody were to call Tony, you heard him when I said Iran wants a rematch. If the money was right, he'd be in the ring with Iran. Even if they were 80 years old, they'd be swinging their canes because they're just fighters. That's who they are. You know what I mean? But, I mean, glad to have met you. I'm definitely going to follow you on Facebook. I hope we become friends outside of, and I appreciate you putting me on live. And now I'm thinking about it. I have like, what is that? A social anxiety. And now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I see all these green, these are my friends.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see all, yeah. Because it's easy for me to be the one that's commenting, but it's hard for me to be the one that's on on live. You know what I mean?
They all here checking you out, man. I mean,
James
Tony, when he was in the room, he had it all the way turned up. All his friends was there, and now all your friends are in. Hey, thank you for dropping in also. Thank you for supporting, World Combat Sports. I appreciate it. Hey, Milton. Hey, it was a pleasure, my brother. Hey, thank you for dropping in and giving me that insight. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you rarely hear someone who wasn't a professional fighter able to speak on professional fighters on a manner for which you rarely hear. You rarely hear the people who's behind the scenes that's able to know the personal side of these fighters. And you said something important. You said these fighters only perceive the way we, the viewers and the fans, see them in the ring. They don't know how they are personally. They don't know how easygoing they are. They don't know how they want to be in that community. You know what I'm saying? And how you just articulated, that says everything.
Somebody once said to me, you just said it, they said to me, life is how you perceive it. Because every individual perceives life differently. And the more I think about that, the more it's like, wow. It's like you got to put yourself in that other individual's shoes if you can, or be open-minded to try to. And then you could understand where they're coming from. So I'll tell you, you said it correctly, man. I mean, I'm a loss for words when it comes to when you put me on the spot and said, tell us a story. but there's so many stories, you know, like, and everybody knows each other. And it's so weird how the boxing community is one community that they show love for each other.
Okay.
You know, like my good friend, he's part of. I like to add another plug. He's the president of the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame. His name is Ray McCline. He was trainer of Hill. Was that fighter? The middleweight Hill. Grant. What's his name?
Not Grant Hill. Virgil Hill.
Virgil Hill. He was Virgil Hill's trainer. And it's weird how, like, when I mention fighters, he's like, yeah, I worked with him. I was at this guy's corner. And I was like, wow, it's crazy how when all the fighters get together, they have love for each other. Even if they fought in the ring, that's just the business of boxing.
Yeah.
But outside of it, they all have love for each other. And it's really incredible how they support each other as well. You know, like when they come out and do fundraisers and stuff. Because I go all the fundraisers. I go to like all the foundation fundraisers, the events, the dinners. But I'll tell you, man, those guys, they have a lot of love and respect for each other. I mean, Tony was kidding, but he loves Iran. Duran, he's coming September 23rd to the Ring 10 dinner. And he said, the first thing he said when he was on the phone is he said, I want to sit next to my best friend, Iran Barkley. And I think that's so cool because they had when they fought, I think it was in 88, they fought in Atlantic City. They didn't think it would be a big turnout. It was a snowstorm, and it was packed, and it was the fight of the year. How ironic is that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now they're going to sit down with each other, and he says, I want to sit next to my best friend, Iran Barkley. So that they got a lot of love for each other outside of the ring. You know, so it's beautiful. And another plug, if you don't mind, the Vegas Hall of Fame is coming up in September or August, I'm not sure, but they also have a boxing expo. The Las Vegas, they have some good people that are getting inducted. The one that stands out to me is Layla Ali.
What? Layla's being inducted? Okay, all right.
And let me tell you, man, can I tell you one more story? I went to Kentucky, right? A friend of mine wrote a book. His name is Felix, and he wrote a beautiful book of when he went to see Muhammad Ali in Harlem. I'm sorry?
I was saying, telling Zane. Zane said, have a good night, guys. And I said, thanks for dropping in.
Oh, okay. So my friend wrote a book. It's called Me, My Dad, and Ali. It's about him and his son going to meet Ali in Harlem when he went to the Human bookstore. So it changed his life. So he wrote a book. So he's he goes to Kentucky a lot when Ali, rest his soul, was alive, and he's good friends with the family. So he asked me if I wanted to go. So I said, of course. So it was a humanitarian awards.
Yeah.
So I meet Layla Ali for the first time. Dude, she's tall. She's gorgeous. She's got this aura. It's incredible.
Absolutely.
So, but it was funny because her bouncer is this big dude. And I went to take a picture, and like he just removed my hand a little bit.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Later, I had asked him later on. He said, "Listen, it's not about breaking up fights and getting into fights. It's preventing them from ever happening. Because I don't know you. You put your hand on her. Who knows where your hand's going to wander?" So
Okay.
I said, "Really?" I was like, "Really?" So we became friends, me and the bouncer, for that because we had a conversation. Later, we're in the airport. I'm sitting there waiting for my flight. Layla walks in with the bouncer, her bodyguard, and I said, "Layla, can I get an autograph?" And she goes like this. She goes, "Nobody's noticed me here so far. And if you say that out loud, it's going to be a frenzy." So I didn't say anything. She sat next to me. He sat next to me. She signed something for me. She leaves. He's waiting for his flight. So we're hanging out talking, and we're about an hour talking, right? This was 10 years ago, 14 years ago. The other day, she goes to New Jersey to sign the book. So I found some. Remember back in the day when they were using Kodak cameras? You get like the 3x5, the photos.
Yeah.
Yes. I found some on eBay, so I bought them. It was her dad, her family. So I said, I don't think anybody should have these but her. They should go to the rightful owner. So I went to her book signing. I went with Iran, of course, and Iran said, oh, Layla knows me. I said, yeah, right. Layla came out and gave him a big hug. I was like, oh, man, this guy's always right. So I come up to her and I said, Layla, I want to first tell you that I got these pictures from eBay, and I don't think anybody should have them but you, the rightful owner. They're your dad and their family members, your family members. So she was like in shock, right? And I'm looking at the bouncer. I'm like, he looks familiar. So he says to me, he looks at me, and I go, and he went like this. I went, no way. I didn't say a word. He said, Kentucky. I went, you remember? He goes, yeah. I went, holy smokes. He remembered me. But Layla, after giving her the photos, she, like, seriously in shock for like that split second, and said, that is so nice of you. How long have you had these photos? I said, 3 years. I bought them 3 years ago, and I knew I'd run into you again, and I'd give them to you. And she was just like flabbergasted, And then, of course, I was like, oh, can you sign this glove? Can you sign this belt? She's like, of course. But it was just like, I'm getting the chills right now, the way she felt, And I'm hoping to go to the the Vegas Hall of Fame and running into her again. And, of course, I'll take Iran with me, but.
Hey, you know what you just did? James Toney coming on here today, turning up and letting the boxing fans get a taste of what they missed if they wasn't born in that era or follow him in that era. You jumping on here, being involved with these fighters behind the scenes, man. Basically, speaking with them. I heard a lot of what you said, and back then I mentioned I like it'll be good to get a retirement plan set up for boxers. They can donate to a certain fund, and then when they retire 15 years or whatever, they're able to get some type of stipend for the rest of their lives. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they don't have anything, just like MMA fighters, they don't have anything to caveat post-career.
Yeah.
But it was an absolute pleasure. You just basically provided the fight fans with a whole nother side in which we would never see unless we heard it. Unless we were a fighter, unless we was a fighter, unless we was associated like you are, we would never hear those type of stories about Mike Tyson, Iran Barkley, James Toney, Layla Ali, and your experiences. Absolutely phenomenal, man. That was a treat to hear. You know what I'm saying?
Are we getting off the thing? Because I want to show you something.
No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm not on a time schedule, man.
Okay, check this out. I'm just going to walk over here and turn the light on. I have to show you something. How much of a fan I am. Okay. Okay, let me put the light on. Okay, check this out. All right, let me see if I can.
Man, that is a lot of memorabilia. Look at the belts.
Signed by Muhammad Ali.
Wow.
That's how it's like. I mean, I'm not plugging anything. I'm just saying that's my own personal piece. But you're going to bug out on this. I got a story that goes with this, too. How cool is this?
Man. That's crazy.
Look at
that. That had to take some, man, that's like what? Thousands of dollars for them to make that mold, huh?
This is like movie magic, like the guys that like do this stuff for like movies. But I had it done. And I'll tell you a story. In Atlantic City, Evander Holyfield was there, and he's my favorite fighter.
Yeah.
So I had this guy as well made up. I think you might know who he is.
Wow.
How cool is that?
You look just like him, man. That's freaky. That's crazy right there, man.
That's insane, right? So I have all that memorabilia. Like I have. Can you see? Like I have the belts and everything. I have more belts up here, right? So I'm in Atlantic City, and I put out 2 displays with those faces, and everybody's taking pictures. Mike Tyson's face, his head, and his gear, his belts, his robes, everything. Then I have a display of course, Floyd Mayweather. You got to have him.
Yeah.
So I have like a lot of his belts that he has, you know, they're signed and everything. Yeah.
Have you ever, did you have to get permission to use the TMT logo and holler at Floyd and say, hey, Floyd, I had this mold made of you, and you had to go through all the stipulations ahead of time and all that stuff?
Well, the TMT was the hat,
Yeah.
you know, that I put on the mold. But the mold, no, actually, there was a guy when he was fighting, when Floyd was fighting with McGregor.
Yeah.
He had the two heads made. So I said, I got to have them both. But then when I found out the price, I said, I got to have that one.
Okay.
I have to have Floyd. So I guess he might have done all that legal stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
You know?
yeah.
But so I go up to Evander Holyfield. I'm with Mark Breland, of course, because, you know, then you get a little more personable with the fighter because I'm with Mark Breland. So Evander doesn't see me as just a fan.
Yeah.
So I go up to Evander and I go, Evander, come with me. But do me a favor, don't hit me. He goes, why? Why would I hit you? And I go, because I want to show you my display. It was supposed to be Evander Holyfield because I said he's my favorite fighter.
Yeah.
But the guy couldn't do the molding fast enough. It takes a few months, right? So I show him the table with Mike Tyson and he's smiling. So I pick up the head and he's looking at it. I said, if you want to bite the ear, I understand. And he started laughing, right?
No.
He goes, I'm not gonna hit you. I said, you know, you were supposed to be here as well, but the guy couldn't do it fast enough. But it was so cool. I had who I think is my idol in boxing standing right next to me and I'm holding the mask and he's right next to me. And then we were talking and it was like so cool. It was such a feeling because I've always ran into Evander Holyfield.
Yeah.
I never spoke to him on a level where his defenses are down because of Mark Breland.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, afterwards, you know, I got friendly with him and Roy Jones and all the other guys that were there. But because of Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame and allowing me to be part of that organization with my memorabilia allowed me to get to know a lot of these fighters, you know? So.
How long you been in the memorabilia game, man? You know, put your plug in, you know, like how long you been in the game?
I'm going to say I've been in the memorabilia game. It started, my son is 14, so I'm going to say about 10 years ago.
Okay.
I mean, who doesn't love boxing? I went to a boxing match with a friend of mine and he goes, you know, there's an organization. It was called Ring 8. And they raise money for down and out fighters. And it's a great organization. So I became part of it. And I said, you know, if I could do just a little bit to help somebody,
yeah,
I'm all in. I'm not going to do a little. I'm going to do a lot. So I joined and I'm like, that's Alex Ramos. That's Emil Griffin. That's Jerry Cooney. I was like, yo, my God, these are not just fighters of today. These are the past. You had the present. You had Paulie Maldonado. You had future guys. I mean, I was like, holy smokes, you had women. You had the Serrano sisters. I was like, this place is great. Every month we met. We did, you know, we had meetings about fundraising and how we can make money to help the fighters out.
Yeah.
And Ring 8 continues. I'm now part of Ring 10. But I used to get these guys to sign my memorabilia. And I always had a business online. So I said, I'm going to see if there's a business, you know, out there where people would actually buy signed memorabilia. And then I was like, wow, you know, people, it's like women, they want a purse, they want every color, every style. They want a shoe, every color, every style. It's like, guys, if you're a baseball fan, you don't want just Aaron Judge. You want Derek Jeter. You want, you know, you want them all. So boxing's the same way. If you're a boxing fan, you want everybody on a glove or trunk or robe. So that's how I created my business, Icons of Boxing. And I continue, I'm on, you know, my website is Icons of Boxing. But a lot of my time isn't staying in front of the computer answering emails. What I like to do is now take some of that time and dedicate my time into putting some of these guys into shows where they can make a little bit of money signing autographs for their fans. So now I'm becoming friends of promoters.
Okay.
This way, because I know the fighters, the promoters want them, so I connect them together, and they make some money, you know, on the side, you know, just to, you know what I'm saying? Because they need the extra funds. And another thing we do is, if you heard of the great, because I say he's a great man, John Scully, the Iceman.
Absolutely.
Because to me, he's a humanitarian. That guy pulls every resource possible to help people out. And I hooked up with him because that guy is so inspirational. He raises money. He has reunions, and he raises money. He has one coming up in September. He has an amateur boxing reunion. He also has one that we hold in Harlem, Spanish Harlem in New York, where we raise money for Benitez, Wilfredo Benitez.
Yeah.
And do you remember G-Man? Gerald McClellan?
Yeah, Jared McClellan, yeah. I
Yes.
know, him and McClellan had a fight with no, don't say it. He had a fight with it was the toughest fight. That's you talking about the one where he received all the punishment and he went into a medical. Yeah.
Yes. He's, you know, Lisa, his sister, has devoted her lifetime into being his aide. So we help them out as far as Ring 10, you know, gives them something monthly. But John, I will get stuff, memorabilia signed, multi-signed by all the fighters, and I'll give it to John, and we'll raise money. We'll auction it off, and we try and help out Gerald McCullen, Wilfredo Benitez. So John, to me, is an inspiration. And, you know, true boxing fans know John Scully. And he's a boxer's boxer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've seen him around Roy Jones. I mean, I've seen him around all the fighters, and they love John Scully. And it's so funny because I said, John, you got to come with me to Atlantic City. You got to sign some autographs. He goes, oh, nobody's going to know me. I was like, nobody's going to know you. Man, you're the Iceman. You know what I mean? Not that music guy, not the, you know, the guy that does the music. You're the real Iceman. So he comes to Atlantic City. He's like, oh, nobody's going to want my autograph. And there's people asking him for his autograph. And the fighters are coming up to him, and he knows all the fighters. And he's just such a humble human being. And yet he's such a giving person that he's really like, I idolize him for what he does for other human beings. You know, whether it be a fighter or anybody else, he's in 110%. So I always told John, and I hope John's listening. I don't know if he's watching. I can't see, but John, you always have me in your corner. As long as I have something to give, whether it be me, whether it be, you know, a piece of memorabilia that we could auction off, he's always got me in his corner. That dude is 100%. So I just wanted to plug John.
It's a John Hersey that just joined. You talking about John Hersey?
Oh, that's John Scully's buddy.
How you doing, John? Thanks for dropping in. Joseph McCain, Absolutely Boxing. Thanks for jumping in. Justin Austin. Hey, thanks for dropping in. Appreciate it. I'm having a chat here with Milton. He's enlightened us on the history inside of the boxing world that we're not privy to out here as boxing fans, man. Hey, superb, man. It was a superb time, man, having you drop in for real. You know, these are stories. You're looking at his back shot right there has phenomenal memorabilia that's going on. You know?
You want to see my favorite? I'm gonna this is a good one. I'm gonna just tell you a quick story. I went to see Evander Holyfield. So I bought this belt. It's the WBC. It's the silver face belt, right? He's sitting in front of me. So I put the belt down and I go, before you sign my belt, I just want to tell you something. You're my favorite fighter. And it took me 43 years to see you. I've met every fighter out there. You're my favorite. And it took 43 years. You know what he said to me? He put his hands out and he said to me, it took me 51 to meet you. I went, damn, 51 years to meet me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then he signs it. Let me show you. If you could see it, he signs it. Evander Holyfield, of course, but he said, he pointed at the belt and he goes, "That's the real deal." Now, he added the real deal inscription, the real deal Evander Holyfield. And I was like, man, that's going to stay with me till my grave. You know, that was the first time I ever met him, you know, but I mean, I got loads of stories, but I don't want to cut you short, but I got to take care of my son now. And I'm definitely glad to have met you. I thank you very much for putting me on your show, and we'll definitely get in contact with each other, and, you know, whatever I could do for you, I'm in.
Hey, now to put it in mind, hey, you just provided fight fans across the world, man, you know, conversation, content that we never would have heard from someone with your status that's been involved with these fighters behind the scene for over a decade. I mean, it's crazy. It's one of those unexpected. It's one of those unexpected moments that you couldn't have planned for, but it happened just the way it did today. And I appreciate you for dropping in there, Milton. Thank you a lot, man.
I appreciate it, buddy. Take care.
Hey, be sure to drop through World Combat Sports, man. Appreciate it.
Definitely will. And I'm going to post that on my website.
Hey, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, buddy.
All right, have a good one. Enjoy.
You too. God bless.
God bless, man. Hey, those of you that dropped by, we've been on here for quite some time. I had the boxing legend James Lights Out Tony that opened the curtains, and he was on stage, turned up. I mean, it was a pleasure being able to talk with, you know, one of the boxing greats as James Toney that really stepped up and fought anybody and everybody back in the day. You know, you got to give it up to him, man. That was built and cut from that cloth like Tony. And then you just had Milton. He gave you every bit of what he deals with. Those of you that want to source out some boxing memorabilia, the company that he's been a part of, him himself started over a decade. He's pretty much dealt with some of the most elite and well-named fighters that you have known in history and today. It's just crazy. You know, these are moments which you can't plan for. You have to have these particular moments. That's the element of surprise, and that's what it was. You know what I'm saying? And I'm appreciative and grateful for being able to be a part of it. It was turned up, man. I'm telling you, it was turned up for a long period of time. So be sure to turn into the video. Be sure to check out Soft Straight Talk with Justin Austin. Be sure to check out Absolutely Boxing with Joseph McCain and the guys. John Hersey, thanks for dropping by. Much appreciated. All the other people that tuned in, be sure to drop through World Combat Sports. Send the invite. No doubt about it. It was a nice afternoon in boxing. Seriously. If it can be like this every week, it'll be phenomenal. I mean, a lot more people on the social media platform would turn in and turn up. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people would basically take advantage of hearing these fighters' stories from the inside out instead of the outside in, as we the boxing fans do. Until next time, hey, it was a pleasure. You know, it was a pleasure. Be sure to follow me on all social media outlets, Instagram, Twitter, and my YouTube channel. And we will talk again. Be sure to turn up and tune in. World Combat Sports. I'm out.